Rain, rain, go away. Come again another day. All the world is waiting for the sun. Sup, everyone? I hope you enjoyed my not so very good singing. But there's an important reason why I sung it, whatever. It's because today we're going to talk about the weather. 天气, okay? Now, why do we need to talk about the weather? Why? Isn't a weather just, what's the temperature outside? How hot it is? How cold it is? Do you need to wear a jacket? Do you need to take off your shirt and show off your abs and your muscles? Or, okay, maybe not because you don't have any of those. But weather determines, right, all these things, and especially whether you need umbrella. And why are we talking about this also is because the weather in, let's say, the United States, okay, in America, is really different than what people would expect or what people are used to in, let's say, Taiwan or maybe China. I don't know too much about China, but I know that China is still hot as it's still very hot also. So but mainly I'm gonna base my talking about Taiwan because I actually grew up there and I came from there, so I know what it's about, okay? So in Taiwan, right, usually the weather is this. From, let's say, April, 4月, until maybe 10月, October, or 11月, maybe November. It's freaking hot, okay? It's hot outside. And it doesn't help because Taiwan is a very humid place. Humid means the air has a lot of moisture, a lot of water particles. Okay? And why is that? It's because Taiwan is located near the equator. So that's where a lot of the tropical islands are, where a lot of humid places are. Okay? So what does hot and humid combine to, or at least what does humidity do to the weather? So let's just say this: when it's hot and humid, oh man, you regret living at where you're at. You want to move. You wanna travel to Antarctica. You wanna jump in the water, pool of water every 5 seconds because it is really hot. Okay? So let's, for example, in the United States, right? Let's say in Las Vegas, it's a desert. It's not very humid. The place where you go gambling when you throw away your money. That place is very hot, really, really hot. Like it gets to above 100 Fahrenheit, which is, I think, almost 40 degrees Celsius. So it's very hot, but there's no humidity at all. So unless if you're out in the sun, standing out there trying to get a tan, trying to get all that cancer on your skin, you won't really feel like it's unbearable. You can't take it anymore, It's just hot. If you stay out of the sun, then you're okay. But in Taiwan, where there is also humidity, oh man, even if you're not under the sun, you are dying, okay? Um like for me, I sweat a lot. Like um here's how much I sweat. So, one time in the summer, I was chilling in Taiwan, right? I'm in a room, right? And I'm trying to surf the web on the computer, trying to use my computer. And I look at my arm, and there's a waterfall flowing down my arm, my forearm, dripping. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm inside, and I'm losing all my water from my body. It's crazy. And it's so bad that you jump in the shower, you hop in the shower, you get into the shower, you scrub yourself. Scrub your hair, rinse off. Oh yeah, feels good, right? You turn off the water, you step out, you take a towel, you dry yourself. And by the time you finish drying yourself, you're already sweating. That's how hot it is. So it's like you need to take infinite number of showers to feel clean. Now, what's a way around that? A way around that is air conditioning. That is like the best invention ever made, okay? And but the thing is, right, the drawback, the negative side is that electricity bill is super expensive in Taiwan. So if you want to, crank up the AC, well, you better hope you have a lot of money. So what most people do is they don't turn that on at all. They just turn on a fan and deal with it. And they might turn it on at night, but only for like 2 hours. So that's that, okay? So now what does humidity do when it is cold? Well, when it is cold, you feel even colder. Because what happens is the water, right? The cold water in the air sticks onto, let's say, your skin, and you'll feel colder. So if it's 50 degrees, if it's humid, then you might feel like it's 40 degrees or 30 degrees. And this is Fahrenheit, okay? Now, one good thing is if it's humid, your skin won't start to crack like a cracker, because it's not so dry. Okay. Now we've talked about the oh yeah. So when it gets the hottest is in, I think, around June, 6月, or June, until September. These 3 months are super super hot. You can cook an egg outside, okay? And this is the time where it is best to go on vacation, to leave, because man, it is insanely hot, okay? Now, what about the cold times? There must be some times that are cold, right? Well, there is. So starting, I would say around December, it starts to get cold, and then in some places, like in the northern part of Taiwan, like Taipei, it does get colder. So maybe in January or February, it gets really cold. You need to put on socks, 2 layers of socks. You gotta put on gloves when you're riding the motorcycle and you're freezing your butt off. Um, and when you wake up in the morning, you always have to turn on the hot water and leave it running for like 2 minutes and waste a lot of water, but you can't help it because it's too freaking cold. You have to wait until the water heats up, stuff like that. So okay, so that's the Taiwanese weather. Now, what is so different about United States weather? Well, for the most part, we're going to talk about the cold weather, the cold side. Now, the thing is, in America, in certain places, like the northern places, the middle, you look at the United States of America map, you draw a line through the middle. From those states up, there are 50 states. From those states up, most of them, especially the very top edge, most of those states get snow. Okay? Now, what is snow? No, snow is not Jon Snow. Not the guy from Game of Thrones, not that guy. Not the one the girl says, "You know nothing, Jon Snow." And he's like, I fought for the night. I fight for the kingdom. I fight I do not want to be a king, Man, that was a really bad impression. Don't ask me to do that again, okay? But it's not that snow, okay? Snow is basically water, like rain, okay? Rain from the clouds that have frozen, okay? And is still in a frozen state when it falls from the cloud and hits the ground. Because normally, if it's not cold enough, right? When it snows, but if it's not cold enough, by the time it falls all the way down and hits the ground where it is hotter, it melts into rain already. So it has to be cold enough to be snow. Now it can't be so cold that it becomes hail. 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 And this is like little pieces of ice chunks that fall down and not that, okay? But snow. So snow is like this fluffy white, not really white, but in movies they show it as white. But well, yeah, I guess you can call it white. It's this fluffy thing that everyone loves supposedly. And you know what? I'm here to tell you, no, it's not. No, it is not. And I'll tell you why. Because once you get so much of it built up on the roads, it becomes a hassle. HASSLE, hassle. It becomes troublesome. It becomes 很麻烦. Okay? Now, why is that? Well, first of all, in order to snow, right, the temperature outside has to be below 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius. We'll hopefully learn that in science class. If you don't know that, then, well, I suggest you learn that now. Okay? And so it's really cold, right? Now when the roads, the sidewalks, when they have water on them, from the precipitation. Precipitation is kind of the action of water falling down from the sky. When you have precipitation and the floors, the grounds, the roads are wet. What happens when they are wet during a time that is very cold? It's below freezing point. Well, you get ice. You get ice, baby, ice. And this becomes very dangerous because imagine you are driving on the road, okay? You got your car, but instead of driving on a regular road, you're driving on an ice skating ring. Ooh. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Where you put on your ice skates and you slide through the ice and you feel so elegant. But it hurts your ankles and stuff and whatever. Exactly. So imagine that. You're driving a car. Now, let's say you want to turn right. Okay? You turn your steering wheel to the right. But guess what? It doesn't go that way. You're going to the left. You're doing to the left, to the left. It's not going where you want to go. You're sliding. Now, when you're sliding on the road, it's very dangerous because you can hit someone else or someone can hit you. So if that's the case, you don't want to be driving. Let's say you need to go to work by driving, or you need to go to school. Too bad. If there's ice on the roads, which often there is when it snows, then you're screwed. So unless if the government, the city government, plows the roads. Now they usually do in places that have a lot of snow. You know, like New York, Wisconsin, all those northern places. And what they'll do is, you know, those poor workers, they have to get up early in the morning before everyone's, you know, driving to work. They get in their big trucks with a metal scraper thing and they just drive through the roads and it pushes all the snow and ice to the side, okay? Now, if it gets super cold, let's say it gets pushed to the side, right? And then the sun comes out and melts it a little bit, melts the ice a little bit, becomes water. But then it gets cold again. So all the ice freezes up again. And now you have super hard ice, even harder than before. And those get messy. Okay? So ice is a very dangerous thing. It's my water break. So now another thing is you will only know this if you are an adult. So when it snows so much, instead of having a school day off or a snow day, right? No school tomorrow, no school tomorrow 'cause it snowed. Something like that. If you're an adult, you don't get that, you know, unless if the city shuts down the whole city, you know, it's not gonna happen. And you have to leave the house by your car. What do you have to do? Well, there's snow on your car's windows, so you have to brush that off, and then you have to scrape off the ice that has formed on the windows, on the windshield. So you have to take this plastic scraper thing and just you have to do one side, you have to do another side, and then you know you're cold and the car you have to heat it up for like 20 minutes before it gets warm, or else you're shivering to death. Okay? And that's not fun. And then on top of that, you have to shovel the sidewalk to your home if the snow is so high. So you have to take a shovel and, you know, scrape it down and then lift the snow and throw it to the side so you can create a path. And most of the time, you know, like for me or my brother or my dad would do it because we have, you know, we're just a little bit stronger, so we were the ones in charge of doing that. And you know, if you're a little kid and it snows, you're happy because you can play in the snow, you can throw snowballs, you know, you can go sledding, which is fun. But see, the thing is, for those people who've never seen snow before, they love it. But I'm here to tell you, after 2, 3, 4, 5 times of snowing, you're tired of it. You're tired of it because the snow gets dirty, because the roads have dirt, and you know, you have to clean up everything. It's horrible, okay? So these are things you have to watch out for when you're planning on coming to the United States. Let's say if you plan on studying in New York or in North Carolina, you know, these things will happen. You have to be prepared. And I'm just telling you guys heads up, you know, these are the things that you will face. Okay? And if you own a home, um, you have to keep your house warm enough. You have to keep it above 32 degrees because there are water pipes running through, right? Now, if your house gets too cold and the water freezes in the pipes, oh man, you're going to have some big problems. And you don't want that to happen. Okay? What else? When it gets cold. What else when it gets cold, man? Yeah, basically that's it. I mean, if you've never been somewhere where it's super cold, you're gonna have to wear warmer clothes. You're gonna have to put on lotion on your skin because your skin gets dried out. For me personally, when it's cold, my feet get really cold, and then and sometimes because my feet I sweat, and the remember when there's moisture and it's cold, it makes everything colder, and I get this thing is called chilblains, CHILLBLAIN. The scientists, they don't know what the heck this is, but it might be some kind of like infection or fungus or just lack of circulation, and I think that's probably the one. And what happens is like your toes, 你的脚会开始很不是酸很你想抓很 itchy. It's very itchy. You want to scratch it, right? And if you scratch it too much, it hurts. But if you don't scratch it, it's itchy. And then if you scratch another place gets red. So it is not fun. Okay? So this is just a quick podcast of talking about cold weather. If I didn't go too in depth, if I didn't, say as clearly, then let me know, And for today's assignment, okay, for this podcast number 6, I want you guys to record yourself and tell me, have you guys ever seen snow? Like not when you're in Japan and you go to somewhere that has snow for a little bit, or you go to a mountain that has some snow. No, I'm talking about like you're sleeping at home and then you look outside the window and you see snow. I'm talking about that, like a lot of snow. Did you guys have ever had this experience? If so, how was it? What did you feel? Were you happy? Were you scared? Did you make a snowman? Did you slip on the ice and hit your butt? All these things, So tell me about that. And then if you haven't, tell me what you heard. Stories, whether you like to see that one day, and also tell me what kind of temperature, what kind of weather do you guys like the most? Do you like cold or do you prefer hot? Personally, I prefer cold, but because the hot, you sweat, you can't take off your clothes. I mean, you can become naked, but that's all you can do. But when it's cold, you can at least put more clothing on. Okay, so yeah, just tell me about all these things, and leave down any questions if you have any, and then I'll catch you guys on the next podcast. All right. This is Peter Hung signing out. See you guys.